A friend of mine living in Dubai recently got laid off and he's looking for a job for more than 3 months now. So I built him an AI agent that will take in his preferences and a location, and it will actually go out there, search for live listing data, and give him a set of jobs that actually worth his time. In this video, I'm going to show you how I did that using Mastra and the job search API. AI agents allow you to transition from talking to a chatbot or an LLM to an actual assistant that can run tasks on your behalf and give you reasonable outputs. In this scenario, it's an agent that is searching for jobs for you. It could also be applied to other domains like searching for events nearby that you can apply, that you can go to, or finding a list of recipes that you can cook for dinner today or tomorrow. The applications are limitless. In this video, I'm going to show you something practical and how AI agents can be useful to you. So this is the general idea. We basically want the AI, we basically want an AI that takes in information and then it uses a tool and then it gives you output. So basically, in more detail, the user asks for a job recommendation, it passes in the role preferences and other information in here like this. And then the AI agent reads the profile, understands the preferences, decides what to search for, and it chooses when to use the tool because it could go back and forth with the person for more information, right? And then once it wants to use the tool, it calls the tool, then calls the jobs API, sends the query location, uses the API key, and so on and so forth, and then returns the actual job listings. The job recommendation agent then filters the irrelevant roles, matches the skills to the jobs, and picks like top 3 to 5 and explains why they fit. For this to work properly, the instructions are given to it to, tell it how to behave and basically what we expect from the AI, from the tool, basically from the agent. And after all of that, it returns the job title, the company location, why it's a good fit, and then a link to apply for each of them. So yeah, Mastra basically makes it a whole lot easier in terms of the structure. So all we need to do is define the agent, define the tools the agent has access to, and then give it instructions. The agent will act like as a brain to tell the model what to do. The tools will be a TypeScript functionality, a function that we define ourselves to give to the agents on what to do. And then the instructions are like telling it how to behave and how to give us output and stuff like that. It could be as simple as saying, you're a job assistant, use the top jobs to return only the best matches, be concise. Something simple like that. But in my experience, more better to give it as much context as possible. So we do all of this, we define the agents, the tools, the instructions, and Mastra basically helps us to orchestrate how everything works. Okay, let me take you into the code. This is how we define the agents. We give it an ID and a name, and then we define the model. GPT 4.1 is currently the smartest non-reasoning model, so that's why we're using this. Then these are the instructions, which I'll explain later on, and this is the tools. The tools right here, very important. So the tools are basically defined in here. What it does is that it takes in an input schema, which is the title, location, and limits. Generally, Mastra uses Zod for the validation. And then these are the output. The output is basically based on the job schema. It's an array of this title, company, location, description, URL inside, which is what the agent is expecting. So this is the actual functionality. This is where we define the actual functionality. We pass in the API URL and the API key. To find the API URL and API key for this particular project, it is linked in the Open Web Ninja dashboard and job search API documentation. I can link this in the description below. Yeah, this is just some validation. This is the input. This is the input, and then this is when we are basically defining the structure, we're processing it. This is how it takes in the query. This is how we define the headers, and then this is how we call the API with this U endpoint. This is the error handling, and then this is us basically parsing the data and getting the values from the API and structuring it in the way we want the agent to receive the value, right? And then after we do that, we basically return the value here, and then we slice it based on the limits that the agent gave to the tool. And we call that in the agent, we define the tools that we're telling the tools that this is part of your arsenal. You can use this tool to get information, and as you can see, it's very type friendly. Then the instructions basically is just telling us, as I said before, telling us how to behave. You're a highly detail-oriented AI job coach and career advisor, blah blah. And then there are a lot of other things that you tell it. You can put in your resume, you can put in your profile, you can put in your portfolio, and then it's going to give you job listings. So I'm going to link all of this in the description, in a GitHub repo where you can read through and possibly use in your own time. Yeah, it basically should read your profile, it should use the tools, it should get lists of jobs returned, and then for each of the jobs, return a job title, name, and so on and so forth. All right. For all of this to work, you basically have to define it inside the master.index file. This also contains other things that we're not basically using. The weather works a lot, just ignore that. But the recommended jobs agents and the search jobs tools are important. You need to define them in the Mastra, in the default, in the root Mastra instance, so that we can use it in the Mastra Studio. Now, let's go into the Mastra Studio. Yeah, so this Mastra Studio allows us to gives us a visual way of running our agents. We can see all of the agents that we've defined in the instance of the Mastra tool or Mastra class, and we can go into the recommended jobs, which is what we defined recently. It also as an information that it knows that it's using one tool, which we defined. So we're going to open in here, and then you can see that it's actually search jobs too. So it has that information. You can also see the system prompts in here and run. But yeah, first of all, we're going to just ask the agent that, hello, I need a job. And then the agent is going to respond to you. I'm here to help, blah, blah, to recommend the best job opportunities. Could you share a bit about your background? These are all of the things that we told the agent to do in the system prompts, right? So what's the professional background and so on and so forth. I'm just going to make it easier by passing in my portfolio URL, put it in there. This is my portfolio link. I'm going to paste that in here. I'm also going to give you access. I'm also going to give you access to my resume for your reference. Yeah, and then I'm going to, thanks to Mastra as well, we can pass in the files into Mastra Studio, and then it will tell it how to handle files and parse it correctly. So I'm just gonna paste that. Yeah, and it's able to read information from my resume. Blah blah. Oh yeah, that. Hands-on roles in Dubai and Nigeria. Yeah, JavaScript. These are all of my text outs correctly gotten from the resume. Some other information, and nice, some other information from my resume and my portfolio as well. So it's asking me one more question. To recommend the best jobs for you, could you clarify? Are you looking for roles in Dubai, remote, open to relocation? What's the preferred role type and what's the target level? So I'm just gonna say I'm looking for roles for a full stack, let's say full stack AI engineer role in Dubai. What's the target level? Let's say mid-level, for a mid-level full stack AI engineer role in Dubai. Any non-negotiables? Now let's just keep it simple. I am open to remote jobs as well. and then we send it. Then the agent now knows to call the tool, which is doing at the moment, and then it's passing. These are the arguments it passes into the tool. Stack AI engineer for Dubai. Hopefully it finds something, and then it sends us an information. Oh, nice. So here's a concise summary of the best mid-level full stack AI engineer roles in Dubai and remote based on your preferences. Most roles below align well with your AI and full stack interests, though a few may skew slightly senior or have specific tech requirements. If you have Pascal tech or stack or years of experience, let me know for even more tailored results. So first off, the first recommendation is this: learn with the AI via crossover, and gives me information why it fits. There's also a link to the job application and Casabot as well, TypeScript, GitLab. Oh, GitLab is hiring. Interesting. Mutual of Omaha. This is remote and US based. Okay. And it says the learn with AI and Casabot roles in Dubai are the closest match for a mid-level full stack AI engineer offering hands-on AI product work and modern stack. So yeah, it works basically. So if I wanted to apply, I could just go on ahead to apply to these two because it says it's the most that matches with me. So yeah. Let's even try and look at some of these links and see if it actually works. Oh, okay. This is taking a long time. Oh, nice. Oh. anyways, let's look at the other one. I want to do that. But anyway, this is on LinkedIn, and this is the job role. Currently in Dubai, that's why it's showing it's in Arabic. But anyways, it works. And if my friend wanted to go and apply, he would apply and he would get the job hopefully. So yeah, this same pattern works everywhere. Swap the jobs API with a travel API, or with a finance API, or an events API, or even a recipe API. You're not just building chatbots anymore in some sets. You're now building decision-making systems that sit on top of real-world data. If you want to learn more about building AI agents, please hit the subscribe button. In the next video, we're going to talk about the differences between agents and workflows in Mastra. And yeah, please drop a comment telling me what kind of AI agents you would want to build next, or what kind of AI agents you would want me to build. This has been nice. If you've watched all the way to this part, thank you very much. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.